Jill and I here are in Dingle, Ireland, and we're in some beehive huts that were 2,000 years BC. But we were just talking about in the Old Testament, a family was supposed to take a little lamb like this, a male, 1-year-old, unblemished, and they would bring it in the house, in a family's house on the 10th of the month. And they would keep it for 4 days. Well, you and I know, if we would have brought a precious lamb like this into our house, then the kids would give it a name. They'd want to walk the lamb. They'd play games. They'd want to sleep with the lamb. And then 4 days later, so they've had a pet for 4 days, they would actually take the lamb to the temple. And what would happen is you and me would be standing here with our kids behind us, and I would place my hands on top of this lamb. I'm kind of saying our sin as a family has to go somewhere or something. And the priest would then slit its throat, which is, you can imagine, well, that sends a message to the children, and that would have been really disturbing. Your sin cost somebody or something its life. In this case, an innocent little lamb. Well, if we fast forward to the New Testament, even a verse in the Old Testament, Isaiah 53:6 says, all of us, like sheep, have gone astray. Each has turned according to his own way. But the Lord has caused the sin of us all to fall on him. Well, everything I've described so far is just a huge arrow pointing to Christ. John the Baptist saw Jesus and he said, behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. And so you think with Christ, he was innocent. Christ was without blemish. He lived among his people, not for 4 days or, a year in 4 days, but actually for 33 years. You just think about the love that he had for us, that he would lay down his life. 2 other verses I'm thinking about. In Hebrews, it says, without the shedding of blood, there can be no forgiveness of sins. But it also says that it's impossible for the blood of bulls or goats to take away sin. Well, how do those two come together? They come together perfectly in the person of Jesus Christ. The last verse, and it's just sad to think about this little lamb would have been sacrificed. But in the New Testament, greater love has no one than this, that one would lay down his life for his friends. Jesus said, for those who have ears to hear, let them hear.